One of the amazing things about Qlarant is they have their roots in, detecting fraud, waste, and abuse in Medicare and Medicaid contracts, being under contract with the federal government to determine the quality of healthcare that is delivered, across the United States, and major contracts. People with this organization have testified before Congress and have put away a lot of bad guys that were doing bad things. Aside from what they do, 20 years ago in 2003, the organization actually started the foundation. And they started the foundation with the idea that it was part of the DNA of the organization to give back to the communities where they live and work. So for over 20 years, this foundation has given money away in DC and Maryland. Upwards of $8 million they've invested. And the biggest grant that they've ever given, I think, was $50,000. So it's really grassroots stuff, helping organizations that are really moving the needle a human at a time. So I've been a member of the board of directors for Qlarant as an organization, as well as on the foundation board since 2016. And so I've got to watch, it's been such a pleasure to watch this company grow from 60 to 70 to, 80, now to 100 million. And when I became the chair of the foundation board in January of 2024, I started taking a little bit deeper dive. I started talking with the CEO, Ron Forsyth, and I said, how can we do better? How can we kick this up a notch? And so we started talking about bringing creating the position of an executive director and filling that position with somebody that could actually begin to make strategic philanthropic investments for the organization and to just raise the profile of the foundation, not only to the communities where Qlarant, again, in 39 states, we now have employees. So not only to raise the profile in the states where we have employees, but also to raise the profile to the employees themselves. By the time it got to be a really big, fun position, I said, I want it. That's exactly what happened. I said, I really want to throw my hat in the ring. So we started talking about, 5-year pro forma budgets and what that looks like and how do we pay for it? How do we expand and how do we reach the employees, all the employees where they are? So, while we've invested upwards of $8 million in DC and Maryland in the last 20 plus years, we felt the need that, and the board agreed, the foundation board actually agreed, it was time to raise our eyes out of DC and Maryland and approach the other big states where we have employees, Florida, Texas, and Georgia. For the first time in 20-something years, we are now accepting applications from DC, Maryland, Texas, Florida, and Georgia. And my grant reviewers are all volunteer. The senior leadership team from Qlarant, the board members of both the main organization as well as the foundation, everyone participates. So they pair up in teams of 2 and they do the hard work of doing that first cut on the grant. So it's part of what a lot of people love about this organization, the board members especially. The Qlarant senior leadership team is just amazing, and they're so excited about not only the expansion, but other ideas that I've put forward for, expanding our corporate social responsibility. Again, Qlarant is an organization like none other I've ever been involved with. 20 years ago, they made the decision to give money away. And over the years, they never flinched, never flinched. It's part of the DNA of the organization. And people have been there for a really super long time. People come and they stay and they morph and grow and change and, do all kinds of, accept things. So we acknowledged as a board that by requiring our grantees, our grant awards are so low that while they're significant, we didn't want to overburden our grantees. So we started adopting, and somebody, I think one of the board members brought it up in a board meeting, Melinda Gates made a statement, which was, don't require this minutia reporting from your grantees. Decide that you support the organization, give them the money, and let them do their work. And so in that, we lifted off some of the burden, that this quarterly thing of, metrics and how many people, how many new occurrences of, whatever. And we started asking them to tell us stories. So we began a narrative with our grantees so that that could then be published to the people of Qlarant, to the Qlarant associates that are actually driving the work, that gets the profit, that goes into the bank, that actually we pull the investment money, the investment income off of. So we started that, like I said, about 5 years ago, asking for stories. So there's not one of those stories that's bad. There's not one of those that doesn't say what we're all about, because whether you're helping children or families or vets or, whether it's a homeless encampment or it is, teaching people how to manage their blood glucose levels, all of these things matter, and they all matter in every community where we have people. And every little bit that you can, like, all ships rise when we care for each other. Yeah. So no, I wish there was one that I could say, wowza, that one actually, but it's hard. It's hard to say no. That's a reason we only have like 2 major guardrails and not like 45. We're not trying to keep it too narrow, but I'm certain that that's going to get more difficult over time, especially with the expansion into other states.